Let's get on to the last topic, and that is, of course,
Do we have to?
I know, yeah, we do. Black Panther Wakanda Forever producer claims Namor, because he's called Namor now, not Namor, Namor, is the voice of the colonized. He's the voice of the colonized, ladies and gents. I mean, look, what are you talking about?
Well,
like, his land's clearly not colonized.
Well, yeah, let get into the story, and then we can get into what they're trying to attempt.
Well, during an interview with Phase Zero, Moore spoke about Namor. It's funny. And his depiction in the upcoming Marvel Studios film. When asked what he wanted Namor to be, the reason why I'm saying Namor, there's been a clip circulating, ladies and gents, where he says his name and he says it the Latin way. That's right, Paulie? Namor.
That's how you would pronunciate it if you were Spanish.
Yeah. So they've changed it.
I thought it was no mas.
Whole thing to it. There's this, just go on.
Yeah, that was funny.
Namor to be in the MCU. Moore replied, "We thought it was really interesting, both to bring a little bit of attitude of Namor from publishing, who has always known as being incredibly arrogant and sort of confident, but also to ground it in a real conflict." So that's right. Like, Namor is very, very ego, but he also chews the scenery, right? Like in comics, he's just made to chew the scenery, and it's quite funny. Moore continued, and I think when Ryan decided to really anchor the world of Talocan in Mayan culture, why didn't you just do fucking actual culture, dipshits? And to have Namor be a little bit of the voice of the colonized, it gave him a reason for that arrogance and a reason for that attitude. And Tenoch really brings that to life in a way that we were so impressed by. Like, so Moore explained. Now, Moore, I would say, he's obviously given that name also by someone in the film, so it's not even something that is from him. But there is certainly a way that a Spanish speaker or even a Mayan speaker would say Namor versus the way that an English speaker or somebody who is a little bit more Western in slant might say Namor, and we thought that was just interesting. It's reality that people face, and it felt more genuine than having everybody to pronounce it correctly, to be quite honest. I mean, that's funny. He literally says to pronounce it correctly. It's like, so you saying it, such a bloody contradiction. But anyway, let's get into this, right? So you're talking about the world of Talocan, a completely fictional, made-up pile of nonsense. We're going to ground it in Mayan culture. Right. Okay. But and also he's now going to be the voice of the colonized, because that will give him a reason for being arrogant and a reason for the attitude. What are your thoughts on this, Nick? I'll go over to you first.
I don't really know that much about this character. Or
I don't think you need to. I mean, the thing is, like, so Namor, the Submariner, Atlantis, they've swapped Atlantis out for a fictional made-up.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you.
Talocan.
So they pulled him from his original backstory and are making a completely new backstory for him.
Yeah.
Well, for fans of that character, I'm sure they're probably going to be pissed about this, because if I really loved a character and they completely changed his backstory and changed him and made him completely different, I'd be pretty pissed about it. So I don't really understand why they would. I don't understand the reasoning behind why they would do that. I mean, why not just keep it the same as the source material? That's what the people who are going to go see it that like these characters are familiar with, and that's what I think they're going to want to see on screen. And now the fact that you're changing it is probably just going to end up bringing a bunch of backlash, and people are going to end up being upset about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So let's go over to Tom, because I know, Tom, you're a bit strapped for time now, mate. So let's get your opinion next.
Honestly, I think it's just more of their virtue signaling bullshit, trying to be
inclusive.
Well, I don't even know if I'd call it that at this point. I think it's just them being fucking hoity-toity bullshitty. Like, I just think it's stupid. Like, what are you trying to accomplish with this exactly? I mean, the only person I give a shit at this point how they feel about it would probably be Paulie. Like, people like him, in a sense. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah, like
does it
actual
really? Do you feel like it actually
Latino
represents, your culture or not? And at that
Does
point,
this represent you,
Yeah.
Paulie, of the Latino slant?
well, he won't know until he sees the movie officially. But yeah,
Well, as a former college swimmer, yes, I feel. Contrary to what Mexican Iron Man has said recently in regards to Mexicans and swimming, we can motor pretty well in the water. I don't know if you were done, Tom.
no,
No, he
like
wasn't,
I said, I really very
Your
little
brain.
to say about it.
Yeah.
I'm against this movie for various reasons from the start.
Same here.
I don't.
Yeah,
like this.
I'm not enamored with it.
It's a
on a stretch.
sequel, right? We have a movie in name only called Black Panther, because he's barely in the movie. Technically, he's not in it at all. And then you got 4 other women taking his place. That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Making a Latin man a villain.
But is he though? Because he's not going to be. So this is the thing.
He technically
right?
isn't, but I'm sure that the movie's going to play it off like he is for a while till they figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the thing, right? Like they pit one against one another. So you've got. I mean, Paul, what do you think about this, Paulie? Right? Like, obviously, you're Latino. They've made up a place. They haven't even given it a real place in real history. They haven't even tried to ground it in historical accuracy of any kind at all. And yet they still tried to represent our culture, but it's like a Frankenstein version of it. So what do you think? Especially when they say, well, it's the voice of the colonized as well. It's like, is that a disservice to that as, to the historical accuracy of people that were actually colonized? Like, does it not do that in that respect?
Oh God, Nate and fellas on the panel, there's so many angles to this film, and where you think there wouldn't be. I mean, especially with my channel and what I cover. We've covered this for the last couple of years, ever since the announcement of Tenoch Huerta, who's arguably one of the best actors out of Mexico the last 20 years. Forget his politics, forget all that stuff. I'm just talking about his work. I've always been in love with this gentleman's work. Sin Nombre, Narcos Mexico, Forever Purge.
Have you? He looks terrible in these clips. Like awful.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. I do not like.
Because I'll say this.
I do not like the acting.
This is my first exposure with him, and I'm
right.
It's laughable.
Why do you think I'm trying to tell you about other stuff that he's actually amazing?
No, I get it, man. Like, how insulting for you, someone who
putting him in front of a disco ball the size of the Death Star is not helping the gay bar vibe at all.
Oh my God! But
for real.
So there, when it comes back to what it comes down to is this is Coogler's Namor, whatever you want to call it. It's Coogler's. He's gone on record telling, where they asked him, why did you do this? And he's like, look, I'm from California. I grew up around Latinos. I have Latinos in my family. It just seemed like an organic thing, to take it there. Okay. All right. I got problems with that, but there's things that kind of make sense, but I'm going to wait and hold my full opinion until I see the film. Now, when you go back, so there's so much. So when I say there's different angles here, Nate, there's this one angle of the comic book purist. Okay. And they are not happy. Who are the ones that are the diehard Namor fans? I don't, or just, because he's one of the oldest, if not oldest comic book hero there is, anti-hero, whatever you want to call him. He's half human, half Atlantean. Here, they're going to make him half Mesoamerican and half Talocan, which is the mutant side, the Atlantean part. Okay, the Mesoamerican is that's why his skin is brown, or human, not blue. That's why the other ones are everyone else is blue. Talocan is a fictional mashup. Think of Mesoamerican hodgepodge.
It's like a highlight. It's like the best of. It's like a top 10 highlight reel of.
It's like Wakanda.
Mesoamerican,
Wakanda
isn't it,
was
basically?
Wakanda was they
it
were
wasn't.
picking...
They had bloody thatched roofs and stuff like that. They're a fucking joke. Wakanda's a
right.
fucking
So
joke.
just the name, the Talocan, that's Aztec influence. That's the Tlaloc, the rain god, the Aztec rain god. Okay, that's that. And he had the spear and all that stuff. And then the Kulkulkan, that's Mayan. That's
KKK.
And that's what they're going to be, and that's what he's going to be speaking. You heard him screaming that when he was with his people. There's that one new scene where he's screaming that with underwater.
The KKK versus Wakanda.
The KKK,
that's pretty bad, mate. They didn't really think about this, did they, in the writing phases?
Well, I mean, it's cool. Hey, it's all on Coogler's shoulders, man. He's going to, it's gonna sail or crash hard. And
from the KKK versus Wakanda. I mean, that's
from that one acting scene. I'm very not only am I very disappointed on how they're presenting Tenoch, but it's not even filmed well. It looked cheap. It looked like it was a play. And I'm gonna turn on my camera, and you guys go ahead and keep acting, but I'm gonna move around my camera. But it looks so flat, and so it made the acting look flat. Not just Tenoch, but also Angela Bassett. This whole thing with the colonized thing. If you're going Mesoamerican, which is what they are, yes, historically that makes sense. The Mesoamerican Indians got colonized by the Spanish. So what I'm hearing, and I've reported this a long time ago, and Tom knows this, ad infinitum, man, is I got some sources that said that Namor is going to be much older, and there will be flashbacks where he's fighting Spanish conquistadors, and I am just like, okay, I don't know what's going on here.
Why?
This is going
well, and then he wants to go to war to Wakanda.
Well,
it doesn't make any sense.
Because
what an absolute shit show.
Because he's protecting, like Namor did. He's protecting Atlantis. Namor hated all surface dwellers. He didn't discriminate. He just hated all. So in that sense, that's why he's mad at Wakanda for sharing the vibranium gifts and all that shit. That's why he even comes up. So it's so much to chew off. I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't know what this strange fascination is with Hollywood, and they're just kind of like souveniristic representation of Mesoamericans. I'm seeing this a lot this year, and I'm really upset. The one through line is no Latino, writers or directors. It's just weird, man. It's just weird. And so, I mean, what Nate Moore is saying, and the whole thing with Namor and Namor, it's like, what? And then Victoria Alonso
it's just, to me, it's very like that whole, say it like you would. Say it like you would. It just seems very cheap.
Well, it's then Victoria Alonso, was on the purple carpet. And she was saying in Spanish, es un hijo creciendo sin amor, Namor, no love. He's a little boy that grew up not knowing love. I was just like, oh my God, this is not happening. Because here's that part of me that of course I wanted to succeed, because that's where I'm coming from in an authentic way on my channel. Tom knows me, Nick, now Nate, you guys, anyone new to what I do, this is what I've been covering for years, because I know how stereotypical and racist Hollywood still is. So my only saving grace, I hope Coogler pulls it off. And I'm going to stop watching any of the new news, because I don't like anything of what I'm hearing. And I don't like this. I did not like the scene, guys.
Oh, the scenes are terrible. The scenes are actually awful.
Yeah, man.
And I've got to say, as someone that is into my fitness, did they skip out on the the very strict gym regiment that they're supposed to do now? Like, what's going on with that?
Well,
like it has to be said. Like, it has to be said, because you can't you can't have Namor going up against. You can't have him in the same scene with bloody Chris Hemsworth, for fuck's sake. He's going to look like an idiot. Like, he's going to look stupid now. He's not in bad shape for a normal person.
He's not in bad shape, and he was in
he's in
worse
bad shape for a superhero.
He's in bad shape for a superhero. I think Tom wanted to say a few things before he had to leave. I don't know, because I can.
Not really. I just did a few things so I could stay a little longer.
Well, I guess on that note, Nick,
because you're in fitness, I'm in fitness. It actually, to have that look, it doesn't take that long for a man to train. If your job, you got the job of being Namor, you're getting paid to go work out for 3 months, and then you show up to first day of set.
Just
and
put down the fajitas. All right, put down the fajitas and pick up some chicken and rice.
Well, okay. So 2 things, right? When he got the role, he did not know how to swim. That's like
what?
Yeah, he said that he in effect told Coogler, "Oh yeah,
That's
I know."
As bad as the Flash, Ezra Miller not being able to run properly.
Now, here, the difference is that Tenoch, truly, guys, everyone in the chat, Tenoch is a great actor. So I will I'm forgiving of okay, you don't look that great, but if you can convince me in your performance that you're Namor, like you have, because his role in Narcos Mexico is menacing. That's Namor.
Yeah.
Now, if they beta him, then we're done. We're done.
Well, while I was listening to you talk, Paulie, that's what I was sitting here thinking the whole time. I'm like, if they beta this guy, oh man, that's not going to go over well.
And from what I'm hearing and the way they're talking, the actors are talking about the performances and the role, we already know it's going to be female heavy, and Namor is an alpha. And so I'm hoping that they stick to that, and they actually keep some masculinity of a protector, because they've changed so much of Namor. They really have.
Yeah, I think that about wraps up that topic, to be honest. Tom, you need to leave now, don't you, my dude?